the easier it is to get your film made, the more you can focus on the creative, the craft, the esoteric piece of filmmaking.
All Things New Mexico with Steve Graham, New Mexico's Film Office Director. Welcome, Steve.
Thank you very much. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too. Let's start with the big picture. When a studio or a streamer considers where to shoot, where's the core value proposition that makes New Mexico stand out?
Well, it always starts with the money. We have an incredible incentive, very competitive worldwide. But they come for the money, they stay for the crews and the locations and the ease of making movies in New Mexico.
So you have 3 movies here.
We do.
With something like The Smashing Machine, it doesn't necessarily seem like it has to be New Mexico. So.
No, and you'd have to speak with those producers about the individual choices because it shot around the world, I think some in Toronto. But that happens a lot. We have hybrids with films that shoot in New Mexico, either for the locations or for the incentive, and we fit seamlessly into the rest of the picture. So filmmakers love to shoot in New Mexico. We make very positive impact on people, and then of course the incentive is valuable. Okay,
so before we get to the incentives, just talk about the other 2 films, or just...
Sure. The Lost Bus with Matthew McConaughey. Shot last summer in Santa Fe and in Ruidoso. And then Olmo, shot in Las Cruces.
Okay. Yes, and The Lost Bus is another one that the New Mexico landscape is very much apparent in so many of the shots, and it becomes like an actual character, which seems to be something that not many locations can really do.
Well, that film in particular. I mean, we were doubling for California because it's it's around a fire in the Paradise Fire in California, and that's something I think that's unique to New Mexico. We can. A lot of times you think of New Mexico, you think of desert,
right.
But I think it's good for us that people may not think of that, and they can come and do it there. Actually did a lot of the town in the middle of Santa Fe, and were able to approximate that small California town with the bus going through it right in the middle of the capital of New Mexico. So it was fun.
All right, let's get to the incentives. Can you get a little more granular?
I know it's dry, but it's the reason that, it's one of the reasons that we have people shooting there. We have up to a 40% incentive. So it's a base of 25 with uplifts for either shooting on a soundstage or a series for 5%. And then if you shoot outside of the zone for Santa Fe and Albuquerque, so we call it a rural uplift, gets another 10%, so you can get to 40%. We also have a training program called the Film Crew Advancement Program that's unique to New Mexico, where we will pay up to half the salary, or we will pay half the salary up to 1,040 hours for crew members who are moving up in their careers. And that's helped us build a really strong crew base there, because as people move up, people move in. It's been not only a value for the production, because you get money back, but a value for New Mexicans and jobs and the craft.
I know a lot of people think about things that are outside of work, but like, okay, if I'm going to uproot my family to New Mexico, what are the schools like? What are the, what is that sort of extra value that New Mexico brings that is different than California or Georgia?
I moved from California about 8 years ago. And it was one of the first times in my career that I was able to sleep in my own bed and work on a TV series. The landscapes are stunning. The people are great. There's a culture of art. It's just a great place to live. It's a great place to work.
And are rents cheaper?
Rents are cheaper.
I bet.
Yeah.
Okay, so that 5% uplift for series has helped lure many long-term productions. And when you get a long-term production, it's especially a bonus. You know, how has that shaped the local economy and workforce stability for people in New Mexico?
Oh, that's interesting that you bring that up. Well, yeah, series are our bread and butter. And the advantage there, of course, for crew members is that you have a long-term job. And that also is good for the overall economy in New Mexico. The other thing to point out, too, is our film incentive has been around for more than 20 years. It's very stable. And we've had a lot of repeat producers and directors coming back. Breaking Bad is well known for being in New Mexico. Vince Gilligan has continued to shoot there with Better Call Saul, and then with his latest that'll be coming out soon. So he's continued to be in New Mexico, and it's a good example of the commitment that filmmakers make to it. Like Netflix, who's a film partner with us, along with NBC Universal and 828 Productions, they see the value in producing there, so much so that they made a 10-year commitment to shoot there. So.
And what does that 10-year commitment mean?
It means in exchange for doing capital improvements, like helping build stages and things like that, they also agree to a certain level of production for 10 years. And in exchange, they get, there's no cap for them. Our overall cap is $140 million a year, but that's outside of the film partners. So our overall spend can be, our incentive could be, $500 or $600 million, depending on what the film partners are doing.
Who do you see as your biggest competitor?
Well, I think everyone in the U.S. right now is having to compete internationally.
London.
So yeah, the UK has done very well in terms of bringing U.S. productions over. That seems to be maybe coming back a little bit. But yeah, internationally, I think is probably our largest competitor, and we stand with California and Georgia and New York and trying to get productions back here.
Have you given much thought or to the Jon Voight plan to,
It was interesting. I think the biggest value of that is that it started a conversation about how we keep production in the U.S.
Which was a needed conversation.
I think so, and we did support it. New Mexico did support it. We, signed a letter that went to the president that supported the idea of a number of initiatives that would make it easier to shoot in the States, more competitive.
Give me a sense of how, like, the deserts and mountains and all of these sort of like larger than life landscapes can double for places like over in the Middle East, or or as you said, Mars if necessary.
Well, we love films that are set in New Mexico or set in the West, because that's our, the skies are amazing and the landscapes are amazing. But yeah, to your point, there are a lot of films that have doubled for the Middle East or other arid places, very rugged mountains and those sorts of films. My favorite thing is when a producer comes to us, or a writer or director comes to us, and they have a film that they're looking for a home for, and they're interested in us because of the incentive, and they do a scout, and they say, oh, I could set this here instead of somewhere else.
Right.
And those are wins for us, because they, portraying New Mexico as New Mexico is always fun.
Right.
It's really nice.
Given all of the efforts that you're making to attract, what kind of feedback are you getting from the business community in New Mexico of non-film related, but like the local veterinarian or,
That's, It's been great, actually. I've been in this role about 9 months, and as I go and as I travel around New Mexico and meet folks that are impacted by the work we do, it's markedly different than my experience in other markets. Not to pick on LA, but they've had film there for a long time, and when they come into your neighborhood, you're like, there's those yellow signs again. Now traffic's going to be bad, and we don't have that. I haven't experienced that in New Mexico. The business community is very welcoming. The impact on the community has been good, so folks have nice things to say about it, and as a result, it costs less to shoot there because permits are inexpensive or free. You don't spend a lot on locations, and there are people that want you there, and I think that's a message to especially independents and filmmakers from elsewhere that we want you in New Mexico.
Another consideration that I hear from producers, but particularly from directors and cinematographers, is the light. What is different about the light of New Mexico versus anywhere else on the planet?
You just have to come see it. Yeah, there's something about the light. It's the skies are wide open. In the summertime, the thunder clouds come over, but there's a quality to just the way it bounces off your actors is amazing, and the way it lights the scene. I can't really describe it. You've seen it on screen.
Certainly.
But you have to come see it. Yeah, there's something about the light.
I mean, Breaking Bad could not have been shot anywhere else. So it would have been a different series altogether.
I think you're right. Yeah.
And there's something about the light, and this is something that is like way above my head, but like the way cinematographers talk about the light.
It's inspiring, and I think that's part of it. Actually goes back to getting in a space where you can be creative, and I think those landscapes speak to visual thinkers, and they speak to cinematographers, and I think in a lot of ways it causes you to do your best work because you're inspired by it and you are surrounded by it, and it infuses something into every frame.
So as productions demand greener practices, how is New Mexico adapting its infrastructure and workplace to meet those changing expectations?
We have a lot of sun in New Mexico, so solar works very well for us. We have good infrastructure in the state for that, especially around our production centers. But because of the focus that our partners have, there's been investment in the state that way. In those types of pilot projects, I think we're going to see around the world, but they're happening in New Mexico now.
What does the next decade of film in New Mexico look like to you?
The specter of AI comes up a lot. We see it as an opportunity, especially in the independent world for filmmakers to have more tools. I will say that New Mexico is very technologically advanced. We have 2 national labs there. There's a big push for quantum computing technology in New Mexico. So we think we're poised and in a good position to take advantage of new technology as it comes out. That's where the brains are. But where we see film, I think at least for the very near future, physical production is where it's at, and it's happening. We have a great infrastructure for that, and we're ready to pivot to whatever the future brings.
Okay, so for filmmakers considering their next project, what's the one closing pitch you would make to them watching?
If I were to speak directly to a filmmaker who's thinking about shooting in an incentive state, I would say we want you in New Mexico. We are ready to help you make your vision. We have very talented craftspeople who can help you do that, and you can do it with less money than you can do it somewhere else.
All right. Thank you so much, Steve. I learned a lot.
Wow, this was great. Thank you for the time.
Of course.
very nice to meet you.
Enjoy the rest
Thank
of the
everyone.
festival.